Hello everyone, welcome back to the latest installment of my streaming on my own channels and the VRRC Twitch and YouTube channels. Welcome everyone to chat. We're going to be doing some livery designing today. Check out the overlays coming up. Yeah, today I'm going to do some livery designing, bit of a new thing for myself streaming wise, and something we haven't streamed on VRRC before to my knowledge. We're going to be making some VRRC liveries for the upcoming Touring Car Season 4 Championship, which starts about mid-April, which is great. Sam Zero in the chat. Hi Sam, how are you doing? Hope you've had a good Monday. Monday is normally a fairly low-key and boring day for most people, so hopefully not the case for you. Yeah, we're going to get into it. This is what you're usually graced with. You want to make your own livery in one of our VRRC championships. Of course, you have the option, if you're a black member, then get a livery done free of charge. If not, I'm sure. Well, anyway, Kenny ends up doing most of the livery. Great job. Or I end up doing some as well. But this is what the template looks like. Haven't examined this in all too much detail, but effectively we've got a wire here, see which parts are bottom. This little layer here is the ambient occlusion, which is basically like the shadow. So you can see here it's like the shadows have been painted onto the texture. You can get a set to generate that for you, which is very, very helpful indeed. And it definitely makes a big difference to your liveries. The sound keeps cutting in and out. Oh dear, that's not good. Just going to up the volume to max and see if that makes a difference. But hopefully, double check connections to see if it's that. Oh no, it does seem to be cutting in and out a bit. I don't know if that is just the thing or if it's me. So I'm going to up the volume a little bit and hope that that stops it cutting out. So just let me know how it goes with that. Still got a fair few bits to iron out streaming on this setup. I've not fully sorted it all out just yet. Yeah, this is the ambient occlusion. It's better. Thank you, Sam. So normally you'll actually put this layer on top and then multiply it. There we go. You can see now that it just puts the shadows on top of what you've done, but it doesn't brighten the highlights. And that's due to the way that this blend mode works. The blend mode multiply basically takes all of the bits that are darker than 50% brightness and only applies that to the layers below it. It's the same way if you want to go with screen. That is the opposite. So anything brighter than 50% brightness will get applied to the layers below. There's a lot of different blend modes. You can't see the pop-up, but there's plenty of them. Many of which I don't fully understand how they work, but multiply and screen are the most helpful too when it comes to livery bits, and multiply is the one we use here. So this is I'm gonna go into the showroom. This is what you will get pretty much if you then put this into the game. You'll get a white template, and you can see we've got a few logos here. It's a little bit tricky to see them because it's white on a white background at the moment. That's just the way the logos are done. And then we've got some black logos, no carbon texture, just a dark black finish. We're going to change that, put some nice carbon on it. And then interesting thing to note about this car is there is a different texture for the interior windows. When's my R33? I have no idea when we're actually doing people's liveries. But yeah, it should be good. I think we're gonna have some good liveries this championship. But we've got this little panel here, which has not really been in many cars before on times we've done. The only other time is in the Corvette on either side of the dashboard, kind of about here. Yeah. Oh, the drift. Oh, do you want a VRRC livery for your drift car? Because I might be able to do that, actually. That would be a fun one to do. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That drift car does look pretty cool, I can't lie. I think I had a couple of looks at it. Pretty nice, I can't lie. Done a good job with that one. I hope it sounds good as well. Yeah, Rich, yeah, I'll sort you out with a good livery for that. Should be good fun as a project for me. But yeah, in the Corvette, Eric and Josh Martin, I think it was Eric who did their liveries, so he figured this out. You can actually put text on the bit around the dashboard. I've got an AO map that's fixed. Nice one. Yeah, I'll have a look over that. That'd be pretty awesome. I've got a round rim and a handbrake now, so I'll probably attempt to drift it really badly. Yeah, I need to get better before any videos of me attempting that surface online. But yeah, it's been good fun, but it is tricky, so I have respect for people who do it so well. Like, yeah. The interior of this car is done quite well, actually. Props to people who made it. Do you know what? If it wasn't so awkward, you could actually remap all of, retexture all of these buttons. But this bit doesn't come up on the stream. I need to fix that for the next. But you can see the texture, and it's got like that's the one kind of awkward thing is the texture for some of the interior bits are usually grouped. So you'll see the texture isn't just like a square for each of these. It's all of these squares plus these stickers plus this sticker plus these and like all the stickers around. I make it. Yeah, you should. If you enjoy making it and they end up going well, then go ahead, make as many as you can. That's kind of what I've ended up doing with liveries. I just ploughed myself into doing as many as possible. No red brake calipers, so minus points for that. I do love some red brake calipers. See if we can get some from the livery that I've done for this car. Not finished by any means. But I can't remember if I actually bothered to put red brake calipers on this, or if I gave up because it was awkward. They didn't help themselves in the naming process of these though. They've named all of these textures in a very difficult way to. So does that say 670? No, so it's not that. EF8. Oh, it's that one. Yeah, I don't like it when they're quite this complicated naming convention-wise. But hopefully, if I just paste this in, yes, there we go. So I evidently did remember to put red brake calipers, which look quite nice. I noticed that they gave up completely. Yeah. Oh, and of course the rear brake calipers have a different one to the front ones, you know. Why wouldn't they be the same? It's not like they're similar things you can group together. Given they group the whole of the interior, it's just one of those things. Right, so I'm gonna go back to mine, and this one ends in. I think it's that one. So, well, we'll find out. If it goes bright red now, yeah, I think I saw a little change there. There we go. Now we've got some nice red brake calipers, which is quite cool. I'm always a big fan of those. It will go nicely, hopefully, with the red that I'm planning to put on the car. But yeah, you can see how this turns into a bit of a rabbit hole, because basically every texture, you'll notice if I click on a texture, it highlights some bits, and then this comes up on the right hand side. I can then open up and change any of these. Basically anything you see can be changed, but to varying degrees of difficulty, shall we say. Oh, there's no BMW badge. Was that... Oh, that's part of the skin, and not a little extra thing. Same as the bonnet catches. Those are just little things you pick up on. If you start doing liveries, it's like, oh, must change this, must change that. I have completely lost many an hour to that. So we'll head on over to Photoshop again. So I always say it's important to have an idea of where you want to go with the livery. So naturally I made my idea in Microsoft Paint and not Photoshop, because that's the way to do it. So in rough terms, this is what we're going for. So we've already got the black stripes, so we're it's not perfect, must fix it. Yep, that is completely me, as you know. Fine, well, that's how awkward it is. But yeah, so we've already got this black part on the wing and the side skirts. We're going to change that to a nice carbon look, so we can I can just go with that. Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't look too bad for a little quick drawing, to be fair. But yeah, there's some cool bits. We're going to put some carbon on it, some proper carbon, and then I've already binned off this logo on the grille because I just don't like that. And then we've just got some little accents. Rich likes to have the hex pattern as well, so we're going to try and introduce that in a cool way as well. I think we'll do it on the blue, but not on the red. That might look quite interesting. So base template wise, well, the first thing we need to do is try and get the carbon bit sorted, because that's quite easy. If we go back to the plan, that's basically just outline the bonnet, the roof, and then the boot, and then bless you, girlfriend sneezed in the background there. Yeah, then just borrow the bits that have been already painted black here and on the wing, and then we'll have the carbon sorted. Then we'll put the red and the blue over the top, and then fill out the rest of the stickers and do a map for it. It's quite a simple one. You can really go down the rabbit hole when it comes to slightly more complex bits. So first things first, we'll car looking nice and bright. Okay, this doesn't look too bad for the black parts because we've got a solid bit for the bonnet that's not connected to anything. You can kind of see the seam there between the two, like kind of the join bit between them there. And then we can probably just borrow that section, and that'll do us nicely. That should be all good. Let's have a look. Is there actually a gap between these two? There's a gap between this slot and then a definite gap there. Right, now a little pro tip for livery making. When you're doing things Photoshop wise, and you're just wanting to make quick adjustments, tick skin editing mode, and then make sure to save your PSD in the file location with the same name as the main paint tx diffuse. So this one says ext_skin.dds. That's the file it looks for the basically the whole paint of the body, pretty much. It's the bits that have been highlighted mostly. It's hard to see with some of the bits, but this one is the main area for paint. So you just want to change the DDS to PSD and then hit save in the same location, and you'll see now the AO and the wire map have come up because I've just saved that, which is useful for quick little edits. Like now, I've just picked up a new layer because I want to see how the roof panels go together. So I'm literally just getting a standard brush on a new layer, and I'm just going to draw over part of the connecting bit on the roof, and then just take the camera up and have a look. Because you can see, now we know that this bit should be included in the carbon, because it'll look nicer, I think, that that bit is also included in carbon. But that also helps us, in a way, because I wanted to outline the roof, and that's actually not a bad sort of size. We probably want to double the width of that, and then we'll have a nice size for outlining that. So I'm referring to this kind of terribly done line up there. Check graphics and screenshots. I don't have a Discord capture, but I'll bring up Discord now. Actually, I'll bring it up on my phone. That'd be a better way of doing it. So then I can kind of tilt the camera. Let's have a look then. That's looking pretty nice. I'd recommend swapping the logos that are on the purple to be white, though. I think they'd stand out a bit better. Like that, but that looks nice. Yeah, I think on the roof it shows a bit better that it might look a bit nicer in white. But it looks nice. And what we've got... Ooh, that's an interesting paint scheme. That is looking pretty nice. Alright, I don't know how well this is going to work with phone-wise, but that's one of them. You can't. The pink doesn't come out very well, and the purple on that one. And then that's the other one. It doesn't focus enough color-wise, but that's roughly what they look like. They look pretty cool. Yeah, they do look really nice. Oh, I tell you what. Shout out to Ollie Gibson, providing the brilliant screenshots of the IndyCar livery. Yeah, I need to check this channel a bit more often. It's got some very good screenshots in there. Yeah, they're looking really good, especially car-wise. They're looking very nice. But liveries is tough. Like, really tough. Especially when you're trying to think of, like, original ideas. That's where I fall down. It probably took me longer to think of this terrible little diagram than it would take me to put it on a car. I'm not even joking. It is just a difficult one to crack, but when you eventually figure it out, then it looks like it just flows so easily. So what we're going to do first is just outline the bits that we need and just pray this bit goes down the line in the middle. Avoiding the other bits. And then I typically like to just go for a bright pink when it comes to outlining bits that I'm not going to use, because I don't tend to use pink in the liveries that I do much. So it stands out really obviously. Like, you can't miss the fact there's a bright pink panel on the car somewhere. Okay, so we're going to see how this looks. Actually, I'm pretty certain this will look. We include this. And then go back to the showroom and have a look. Oh yes, I love it when the template just makes life easy. That's perfect for the carbon now. We just got that going across the top. Keep the pink. To be fair, it doesn't look too bad actually. Compared to like when you've got it with white rather than with a blend of white and green, it actually works quite nicely. Like white, pink and black go together really well. It's kind of like the HFT liveries from the touring car with hybrid. They went together really well. But yeah, this is just as an outline for the carbon really at the moment. I'm going to take off the AO because that makes seeing all of this bit a lot easier. So we know we've got this bit. And then it's just a process of find all of the bits that are black still on the template. And then we just add the... Oh, is this another one? There we go. That'll cover all of the black elements of the design, I think. Yes, it does. Lovely stuff. There we go. You can see we've got all of the black bits now. It does just need some kind of little bit to bring it around to the back, but that bit looks okay. I just feel like it needs a bit to bring it round. Is there an easy way to do that, or is it going to be difficult? I don't think we can just whack a straight line bit over it, can we? Well, I don't know if you don't try. How high do we reckon we need it? About halfway up this thing, so that's about there. That's a guess. Oh, it doesn't go too badly. Yeah, it's just a process of elimination, process of just kind of testing it until we just hit the right spot where that kind of lines up with where it should. Now, there we go. Then we turn it all back on again, and it flows a bit nicer around the back now, which looks quite cool. Just means it ties together a bit nicer. Oh, is this part of the windscreen? Yes, it is. Okay, so we can't change that. Yeah. Yeah, that's another design for another stream. Sorting all of that out. So now we've got that. We can bring in some of the carbon. I spent far too many hours trying to get the perfect carbon look. It's super easy to deal with now, because all we do is layer mask it. Take it to the bottom layer. And now we can have a look how it looks. There we go. The map's definitely going to need some editing. But it's looking pretty cool. So now we've got ourselves some carbon, and you can see the carbon transfers to the rear wing nicely there as well. Okay, so we can see already that there's a VRRC logo, a bit of text on the bonnet that needs changing. So we're just going to edit that. There we go. So you can see that comes up a bit nicer now. Let's see if there's any other bits. Ah, yeah, looks like there's a small VRRC logo on the boot as well. Oh, it's the one with the checkered flag on it. We'll just quickly change that. Looks a bit nicer now. Okay, now we're going to have a look at the Cammus logos as well. Because I'm not sure they're centered. Would be good to check that, because just be here. They weren't, as it turns out. Now, which one is going to be on the top and which one is on the bottom? I think I can hazard a guess it's that one here. Oh, that looks pretty spot on. And the one underneath will be this one. It's a touch too high. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now you can see the Cammus logo a bit better there, and a bit better on that part there. Then we can pop some logos on the bonnet at some point. Yeah, we're going to do the rear wing, the wing mirrors, and I've got to somehow find this little bit that goes on the top. Got no idea where that is. You kind of just have to guess, unfortunately. Kind of the way it goes sometimes. Intuition is telling me it's somehow this. Got it in one. Lovely stuff. So now we have to do just a bit of that. And then, yeah, that's going to wait. So in the end, the mirrors, which I think is these bits. I'm not certain how much of it is these bits. I would assume that much. Daft question, do you know how to do a matte gold? I'm using GIMP rather than Photoshop. Okay, so not a daft question. In Assetto Corsa, it is incredibly difficult to get certain paint finishes. It's very easy to get glossy paint finishes because most liveries come with glossy finishes to start with. Matte it's a bit trickier, but you can achieve it fairly easily. Matte gold is possible, definitely possible. What you'd need to do for that is you would need to use a livery map. Now, I don't think Kenny knows how to do that, so I can pass on how to do that. Because what you need to do is to tell the game what finish to give each bit of paint, you have to do another file, which I'll show you at the end of this. But broadly speaking, it's another file with a bunch of colours on it, and each pixel in the file tells the game what the colour of that pixel tells the game what finish to apply to that pixel of paint. Which means you can have as many different paint finishes as you want for each pixel, but it's a bit tricky to get the right finish that you want because of mods, unfortunately. So in iRacing, all of the materials, you can only paint what they call the paintable area, which is usually just the body of the car. You can't paint like the wheel rims, or the tyres, or like little carbon bits, or the interior, that kind of stuff. You can only paint that paintable area, but that paintable area has the same properties for any car. Every single car is exactly the same paint property wise. And in Assetto Corsa, every single mod car is pretty much different because each of them use different material properties to tell the game how, like, what the material is. So what it means is you just need to learn what each of the different channels do and then spend hours tweaking it to try and get it to look how you want. So with a gold finish, you've got high. Right, I'll see if I can find the pictures that I showed Rich. Or did I show Rich these pictures when I was explaining how it works? Because there are three channels. There's an R, G, and B for red, green, blue, and each of them, they define a different parameter. Sorry, this is a really difficult question to answer concisely and without confusing everybody. Right, here we go. Okay, so we'll start with red. Red is what they call speculars, which is, I like to just call it how much light you see on the paint. Like you can see on the left hand side here, you're not getting a lot of light coming off the paint and kind of sticking onto the paint. I don't really know how you want to call that, but there's a lot more light on the right hand side than there is on the left hand side, and that's with a higher red value and that's with a smaller red value. With green, I honestly couldn't tell you what this does. It sort of defines the paint finishes. Less is more matte and then more is more glossy, but I haven't found a solid explanation for what it actually does, but this is what I use it for. Then with the blue, this is kind of the amount of reflections you get. Like reflections being like a mirror of what you can see in this case. So on the left, you can see really no reflections coming off the paint. On the right, you can see the reflections quite clearly. That's what each individual channel does. You then have to go about tuning them for the kind of paint finish you want. And trying to find a solid gold colour is really difficult as well. So the best thing that I would suggest for this is just find yourself. I'm literally going on Google and looking for a gold texture. Oh, I clicked off it and it decided to hate me for that. Right, that's super low res. That should be okay. I've literally just Googled gold texture and just pinged the first thing off the internet for this example. So you can see we've got a it's really not a simple thing, Chris. So this is the gold kind of colour. I googled, yeah, you can definitely just Google a gold colour code. So if we just quickly switch over to here, this is what that looks like with just the default paint finish, which is glossy. I'm not sure why they default to basically maximum gloss as a finish, but they do. So that's what it looks like as gold with that kind of finish. Now it looks horridly pixelated. So I'm going to see if I can just lens blur this or Gaussian blur this to just make it look a bit less. Oh, here we go. It looks just a bit smoother now. But you can see it's got little bits of highlights, bits of darker areas. Just makes it look a bit nicer, in my opinion. So it's not dead all the same colour. So now, if we click on the bit of paint, you'll see TX maps here. So you just want to click these 3 dots. There's not an export thing. Normally there is a button on the screen that pops up which says export. Now, because I've set the capture up weirdly, you can't see this. So I'm just going to go back to Photoshop where I've just pasted the screenshot in. Normally here there's a button that says export, and you can just press that, navigate to your folder for the car skin, and press save, and there it is. In this case you can't, so there's a very simple workaround to that. So I would guess a gold finish has got fairly high in red, so we'll go somewhere in the middle of the park. You're wanting kind of a matte finish, so actually let's try this as a bit of a guesstimate. So then you just want to save it as the name of that file, which you can just copy and paste. So we've just pasted that one in to the save, and now you can see it's a bit more matte, but you get a bit more shiny reflections from it than you might have done before. So now you've kind of got what we call a satin finish, which is really just matte with the light bouncing off it a lot more, is the way I like to think of it. There's like 1,000,001 different ways you can finish the paint on a car. But that's kind of a sort of what you're going for. But if you're thinking, I want a bit less in terms of the reflections, I'm just going to tune the red channel down to 25 instead. So if you're thinking we've got too much light and you want it to be a bit more matte, you can see the light just disappeared just then. So now it's got a lot less light bouncing off it. You can see we've got more of a matte finish. So I think we're going to go a bit further than we did on that. And we'll try something like this. Okay, we're getting there now. It's starting to look a bit more matte, so I think we're just going to tune this down to 3, and then probably tune that to there. So yeah, there we go. Now we're getting a more matte finish. This is a nice matte finish, actually. I am thinking of using matte for quite a bit of this car further down the line, actually, for the design I'm doing today. So I'm going to take note of that. So that's kind of the shortest answer I can give on how to do that. It is a difficult concept. I might seem to know what I'm talking about, but I spent like the whole of last year, pretty much every day I'd be working on liveries. I'd be looking at liveries, thinking, how have they done this, this, or this? My best advice, actually, if you are looking to do liveries, is go to race department. I'll show you what I do. Is go to race department, hit downloads, and then you'll see some Assetto Corsa skins. Oh, this might be a really good example. New URD mod come out for the 2021 GT 500 Super GT cars. They look very good. Oh, Magna Core track skin. But you can see lots of mods to get your teeth stuck into. Just look for the ones that say AC skins. Be careful they don't say ACC, like this one. You can usually tell it's Assetto Corsa competency only by the showroom. I think there is a port of the showroom to Assetto Corsa, but I don't think many people know about it. So it's unlikely to be used. So that's how you know it's ACC, and you've probably clicked on the wrong one. So you can see nice looking Red Bull livery. Hard to tell on the paint finish, but I think that might be a custom paint finish. But download the livery and look at what they do to get their liveries. Like you see, there's a whole pack here. Immediately from looking at, none of these have got a texture map on them at all. It's blindingly obvious when you know what you're looking for. This looks like a track skin. Track skins is a whole other subject. Yeah, but that looks quite nice actually. But just go through and look at what people are doing and putting on the internet, what people like, and then you'll pick up things here and there, like paint finishes, like especially for the RSS cars. Yeah, for the RSS cars, it's quite a wide range of mods, but there's plenty of good bits there to get your teeth stuck into. So that is kind of roughly my advice for that. Yeah, it's a giant rabbit hole you can go down, but it's one I've gone down and I quite enjoy doing liveries now. Always have done really. But that is the long story of how to do texture maps in Assetto Corsa. Yeah, we're gonna go back to our good old 330 now. So it looks like these extra bits here are needed because they're little bits that go around the outside of the mirror, part of the mirror. So we are going to want to pop these into carbon. So what we're using here is a layer mask, so that we can not destructively obliterate the texture, because if I then decide I want white wing mirrors, all I have to do is just edit this this layer mask and just say no, don't want that bit anymore, and it'll come back. This is my first attempt at doing a skin, so it'll look like a 3L. No, honestly, my first skins were no prize either. I don't know if I still have many of the ones that I've done. I'll have a quick browse through some of them, if I can remember what I've done with some of them. But there's so much improvement in terms of what I can do now that I was terrible at before. I'm trying to think of a good example, because they're so forgettable when they're not brilliant skins. But I've definitely done plenty. I'm pretty sure I did a Corvette skin. This was 2021, right? I'm just going to pop them in the showroom. And then swap over to the scene so you can see them. The lighting's not ideal because I've moved them to a place, but that'll do nicely. So from some time back in the past, I made this livery for the Corvette. Now, there's so much wrong with this in terms of what I should and shouldn't have done. And I've changed this, I think, since I've actually started it. Like, the logos don't look particularly well mapped. I haven't put a map at all on any of this. The logo placement is rubbish. I don't know why I left the stickers there. Like, there's so much potential that I'm missing that you can see it's basically almost white there. All these little things that I just can't stand looking at now. But not long after I made this livery, which I still think is my best livery I've ever done. I don't think Jimmy's ever seen this, or if I even bothered posting it in the end. But I was so happy when I made this livery. This is still my favourite livery that I've done. It's just such a clean livery, and it just goes really well with the colours, and it has a Please No Panzerino sticker on the rear wing. That's like the most important aspect. But there have definitely been plenty of liveries I've been less proud of when I started out. It's important to remember you're just kind of starting out, and then the more you do, the better you'll get, and then you'll probably feel like doing more, and then you'll improve again, and then the cycle repeats itself, and then eventually you're quite fluent in making liveries. You know what you want when it comes to getting a design down, and then you can just tweak things until you're perfectly happy with them. It just makes the whole thing a lot nicer when you can just get the results quite easily. So now on this livery, I'm not even sure what this bit, tiny little bit even is. I know where it is in the template, but don't know. Is there one for each side? Yes, there is. Well, there we go, that's that dealt with. Not even sure what it is. Hey, Stan, how are you? How are you doing? Ah, yeah, we've got the BMW badge to fix at some point. I don't know about the outline. What I'm going to do with that just yet. Ah, this bit should be nice and easy to follow, actually. Ah, that GTF1 logo is going to need to be in a different colour, though. Oh, that's a fair point. That's white and blue. We're going to have to make this black to stand out, aren't we? Yeah, I'm doing good. Just doing a bit of livery stuff this evening for a bit of entertainment, really. How's your first week with Apex? The full team going? Obviously, you got promoted fairly recently. I can't remember when it was now. Alright, that should be good. And then that's going to have to be white because we're going over that in a second. Same with this one. And then, where's that Cammus? Oh, that's there. That could probably go up a little. That's a bit better. Probably go up a click. Yeah. A gun at the bottom there, that should be fine. Going good, not much different. Yeah, I imagined it wouldn't be because you were kind of like in Apex. It seems like the academy team and the full team blend quite a lot sometimes. Because I noticed you've driven in a lot of full team liveried cars, so it kind of seems to be like it blends a bit more than you might expect. Well, as an outsider, I don't really know what it's like in the actual team, but that's kind of how it comes across. Ah, nice. Yeah. I forgot you still have school and stuff. Yeah, it must be nice to then just, chill and just work on your stuff at the sim center. Ah, this bit looks like the bonnet catches. So I just noticed those. Also not right. Yeah, it looks mega though. Apex are taking on so many people at the moment by the looks of it. So yeah, it seems like they're really making a push for it. I don't know what's going to happen when Rensport comes around, how many people are going to jump over to that and how that's going to affect how esports functions. I don't even know when Rensport's coming out, to be fair. I don't think they've said. But it'd be interesting to see how few people Rensport won't be out for ages. Yeah, I was worried that might be the answer. Yeah, they've got like 3 tracks. Like I was hoping after Nürburgring we'd get another new track, and then another new one after that. But then it's like we're going back to Spa, we're going back to Hockenheim, we're going back to Nürburgring probably after that. Yeah, it looks like unfinished, but honestly, I want to try it for just like a half an hour bash to just see how it is. Like, I've worked in game development, so yeah, I know how rubbish games can be. There's a game that's not been announced yet, that I worked on at my time at Codemasters, in like fully alpha, not even stage. Like most of it didn't work, because it was so early on in the project. But the signs were really promising from what we saw, and I think it'll be a very good game when it comes out. It'd be nice to share experiences on it when I can actually tell people about it, because it's not actually been released yet. But the Rensport looks like it has potential. It just needs refining a lot. Like, it looks like there's a lot of bugs and stuff. Is the BOP actually good? Because, like, I know if I ask a driver, they'll probably just say, yeah, it's great. Or it's rubbish if their cars, if they've not gone well. But as somebody who, like, is a bit more of an outsider with inside knowledge, you're probably in a good position to, like, explain if the bop's any good or not. Because I can't imagine people would be too happy if in an early stage. Yeah, I imagine it would be a complicated system. Oh, drivers from other teams drive the cars. Right, yeah, that makes sense. Because you don't want the people saying, oh, my car's so slow, we need a 20 horsepower increase. Bob, English, please. Balance of performance, Sam. Basically, it's a system to try and keep different cars at the same level of potential in lap time. So for our GTV3 championship, which we ran, I did like 1,000 laps or something, trying to make sure that every car could achieve the same lap time if you nailed the lap in every car and nailed the setup. So then everybody has an equal opportunity no matter what car they pick. So the Apex guys do test in every car but the Audi. Yeah. So you make the other cars look as good as possible so they get bopped. Yeah, that's a good strategy for doing the bop. That's quite a fair way of doing it. I like that method. I don't think I've seen people do it that way before. Like, iRacing just go off their own testing and probably watch a couple of streams of like actually reputable people testing it out. They probably use a lot of data from all of that to figure it all out. Like SRO just make it up for ACC, and they do a good job of making it up, I think, in places, but sometimes it's very easy to get it wrong. But it makes a lot of sense the way Rensport are doing it. I'm quite interested in how it's going to come along. Do you know if they're going to add rain to it? And like day-night cycle? Because from what I gather, it's got no weather and no day-night. It's like constant time at the moment. But like that would be a killer if it doesn't. Yeah, At some point, yeah, yeah. Oh, that iRacing screenshot looks mega though. The one that they posted about the rain coming along. I hope the rain is actually... I hope that screenshot is raw and not, like, been through Lightroom. If that's, like, a raw screenshot of the game, that could be, like, really cool. In terms of, like, how it looks to the game. Oh, why? Now we're reaching a quirk of Assetto Corsa templates. Because I lined that up perfectly in the template. Yeah, it don't look right whatsoever. Right. Right, there we go. I hate when you have to line things up manually because the template doesn't line up. Look okay at the back. Yes, it does. Now we've got a little BMW logo. Nice. Just pop that down there. Yeah, so we're getting there. We've got the carbon bits sorted now, which look quite cool. So next, we're going to put the red or the blue on. We could just trace that panel, to be fair. I think that would look quite nice. Just go along there, round, like that. And then invert the colours on the other side. Right, okay, we'll give that a go. Okay, now I'm absolutely useless with the pen tool, if I'm honest, but kind of have to learn with Photoshop. It's not the easiest, but we move. Ooh, that's a fair point. Do I want to go along the edge here? Probably do. Something like that. Yeah, the problem for me is with the pen tool, when it decides to just be awkward like that, it just ruins the whole thing. So I think I'll just stick to using this one, to be fair. It does a semi-decent job of smoothing it out as well, which is good. We're just going to go along the outside of this a little bit here, and then just off the edge. And then just around. And then hope we haven't chopped into any bits, which we have. Okay, great. And again, we'll just use the pink because why not? Oh, it goes a bit dark there. Okay, so that looks alright. Then we just need to go around this panel at the back. Which means we'll want to get Well, see if that cuts off the edge nicely. It does. That's just this bit. And then we want to go along this little line here. It is quite nice how you don't have to be like extremely neat with this, because that still yields a nice result. Yes, I'm liking that. It's pretty nice. Right, so now what we'll do is we'll drag in the blue pattern which we've got. Okay, nice. That stands out well. We'll drag that to the bottom and then have a look at it properly. This is what we've got now. You can't really see because the AEO in the preview is a bit weird. You see, we've got a nice proper blue texture there, which is good. I'm liking that. And then we'll have our little red stripe above it, the offset. So we'll do for that, I think, is still use. See if we can get away with using this. Because at the moment, all I need to do is create a little bit long enough for a white layer. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. So now we're just going to make sure we've got enough there. Okay, that's good. There's just a little bit, couple of bits that need editing on it, but in general it's nice, so that's okay. And then we need to duplicate this again, but we'll inverse it. Okay, so we've got a tiny bit to fix, but the concept is already there. So now we're going to place in our red colour. Because this is just a solid colour, we don't bother lining up or anything. And then this is going to be white, so we just change that. And then suddenly we've got a super nice looking bit on the car now. That is good. Okay, now we're going to need to have a look at the logo placement. See what we can do with that. It's looking nice, but we've got some bits to change still. Like the corners on this bit don't look so brilliant. So gonna see if we can fix this nice and easily. Okay, that line looks perfect. Just do that. Got ourselves a nice white line. And then so now we've just edited that ever so slightly. Now we've got ourselves a bit more of a nice normal looking curve on it. So head over to the showroom. This is what we've got so far. But you can see we've got some nice blue, got a bit of red, and then we've still got the white there, which is looking super nice. So now we just need to change the sponsor placement here, which is not too much of a hassle, because the Livery Molly sticker can come down a bit further. Might have to bring a bit more back. Then the goal is to pop this one in the middle, and then this one just on top there, which means we can invert that one, which looks quite cool. And then we've kind of got that side done now. Yeah, it is coming along really nicely at the moment. It's going to look a lot nicer when we put the finished map on it, I think. But in general, yeah, it's really starting to get there now. Then it definitely needs some more logos on it, but we can sort that out fairly easily. But yeah, we're not actually a world away from finishing it, dare I say it. Because now that we've got all of these, I can copy them. What have I copied that's... Well, what I can actually do, hopefully it'll not completely ruin it. Now I have to remember which way it is. It was that way, so we didn't make a meal of that. So then we've just simply inverted this. I just grouped all of these bits, inverted them, so that they're the other way up, and then all we have to do is line it up like so, and we should see the red is just a fraction above the brake caliper. That follows it round nicely, and there we go, duplicated to the other side. Just like that, and it fits perfectly. There's no issues with how it fits or anything, which is wonderful. Makes my life a lot easier. And I did decide we were going to sort of leave it as fairly glossy for all of that bit, and then matte for the stickers, and then Obviously nice carbon texture to match for that. So now that is sorted nicely, we're just going to alter the sponsor placement again. So just going to move that around somewhere about there. Then we want to move this to the middle, which should be there, and then that to just about on top. Invert that one. And then save. And we've got something that looks similar to the other side. Lovely stuff. So now, got ourselves that colour scheme on the other side. Changed my mind on inverting the colours on each side. I'm not so sure how that would look. I feel like adding some blue to the front bumper, like a little ribbon around the bottom of the front bumper. Would that be easy enough to do? Well, we'll find out. See if we can get away with that. Okay, it needs to go a bit higher, but the idea is there. Okay. Okay, so probably okay, like you just go underneath the bumper, so like that. Okay. As you can see, we've kind of got a little ribbon around the bottom there, so just going to see how that looks in blue. The beauty of layer masks means that if I don't like this, I can bin it off immediately without too much difficulty. Yeah, it just works a little bit. I think we can mess around with it a little bit. See if we can make it look a bit nicer. Oh yeah, that definitely helps it a bit. I'm going to do that on the other side. Yeah, that kind of makes it a bit more prominent. It just needs like a little flick up at the edge. Like it just wants to go something a bit like that. If we fluked this by chance, I'm going to be so happy. Oh, nearly. Ooh, might look if we cut the top off that bit. Nearly. Doesn't look like. Can you do something like that? Yeah, that is much more like it. Kind of brings the design together a lot more. It feels much more connected, for lack of a better word. So yeah, we're going to do that on the other side. Well, we're going to try anyway. We'll try it this way. This kind of requires guessing that this is the middle. Yeah, that one's definitely the middle. You're gonna have to quickly look. But if we can do this, you know, the best thing about the BMW, the fact it's rear-wheel drive is quite high up my list, to be honest, Kyle. And I am loving the fact I don't have to drive another front-wheel drive car. Do all of these ridiculous track guides. It has indicators. Do they actually work? If they do, that's very cool. That layer mask is not right whatsoever. They actually work, and that's quite cool. In fact, that's helpful as well, because like one thing I've always hoped we would see in iRacing is indicators, because I think it would just help multi-class so much when it comes to like multi-class and just being predictable with overtaking. So that is very cool that the BMW has it. The other thing is it might not be seen on the stream if I don't have the extension enabled. So as long as I remember to enable the extension, then yeah, instead of flashing the headlights at people, you just use the indicators to indicate where you're going to send them. That would be a great use of it, to be fair. Now, hopefully, that's done it. It looks okay. It has. Wonderful. You should be able to see them anyway. It's like headlight. Oh, no way. That's very cool. I didn't realise you could do that. I thought it was like a proper like CSP extension thing that you had to enable to get it to work nicely. That's nice to know that it oh, I have not positioned this correctly whatsoever. But that is very cool that it can do that, to be fair. That's certainly going to be helpful for like general racing, especially probably race 2. I think that's when we're going to see the most benefit. When people can kind of indicate where you want them, they want you to pass, or where you're going to pass somebody. Like it might just make life a bit more predictable for people, which is always good. Hopefully, race 2 I'll be indicating past people. Yeah, I mean, you can't pass up that opportunity when it's presented like that. Right, now we're looking towards logos and the map, now that I've got that lot finished. So, best way to get carbon is to get a nice reference car right here, which is obviously the Mercedes from this year. That has a lot of exposed carbon all over it, so it's great to compare. The size of the carbon weave is far too large on this one. Like, it's much higher quality on the RSS cars because they do it a slightly different way. Oh, I hope Brad comes back and races with us at some point. Or Jack, yeah. You're indicating if you want to just get out of the way of Brad, or if Jack is coming to lap everybody, because, well, I mean, from what I gather, is he not like super quick in the practice server? I think he's quicker than everybody except for Eric. Ah, I was talking about, yeah. Yeah. I figured afterwards, after I said it, I was like, hang on, he didn't mean that, did he? Jack hasn't set a lap in the new ones, but I'm pretty sure he was quicker than everybody except for Eric on the last ones. Oh, yeah, that's what I should have done, but it's a bit awkward to do it nicely. Oh, do you know what? We might be okay, actually. We might be okay. Because the only problem with that is if it's not like a perfect multiple, so if I split it into 4, if it's not 4 times smaller, like, we're ruined. But we should be okay. Right, I'll do that. I hope these connect to each other as well. That's another thing that can be a problem, is if they don't connect to each other. Actually, I'll do it this way. This is the easiest way I've found of doing it. Let's do this, put some guides in. I thought this was the right size, so evidently it isn't. Now, as long as these match up, we should be okay. If they don't, then we're going to have a problem. But not looking promising. Can I just do this? Oh, it doesn't look too bad. Oh, no, it does. Yeah, this is why you don't do it. Because they don't match up ever so slightly. And, well, that's the sort of thing that would infuriate me. Because knowing my luck, it will be in the most, like, prominent place. That little bit. But not the end of the world. Just something I need to work out a bit further down the line. But it doesn't look too bad. I mean, I'll drag the new one in anyway. I think I dragged the wrong thing. Right, that is the one. Yeah, now I see it just looks a bit pixelated as well. This is the difficulty, is then it looks like this, which doesn't look as good. Because you see, what RSS have done is to get this, like, crazy level of detail, is all this is a tiny little texture that just repeated so many times. I'll show you in Photoshop. it's this texture repeated an ungodly amount of times to get it to work. But that's all it is. But that's like difficult to. I think what I've done is I've put it in a folder, and I've just put the wrong thing in. What I'm going to do is have a look and find a car that is definitely got good carbon on it. Let's try the F2 car. Just check that's right. Yeah, the weave's a bit larger, but other than that, it's okay. What we'll do is we'll just borrow the one from that. This is what a texture map looks like, and you can see that one looked a bit odd, as they sometimes do. Right, we're going to just take that carbon. I think part of it is because the template's the wrong size. I'm pretty sure the template isn't the right size, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, I think it's to do with this template being 2048 by 2048 rather than 4096 by 4096. It might have something to do with that, but that's not the end. We'll just carry on. Right, colour-wise, it's a bit too bright, so we're going to just work on this. Yeah, this is going to look ridiculous, but I promise you this is the strat. I had to do this. What I've done is I've just literally picked the car up and got it so the textures are overlapping. So now we can get a good look. Well, you can see clear as day the difference between the way RSS have done it and the way I've done it. Well, we're getting there. Something like that probably works. But you can see the reflections are not much different to what we've actually got. There's a bit more light to them. But we're actually not too far off on the map itself, actually, which is quite good. We'll just group those. Don't remember about that. Oh, and then one thing is the car has now gone to silver because I forgot to clip the hue and saturation layer to the black, so the car went a bit darker. But now that's looking a whole lot better, I think. We'll just move the F1 car back to ground level. Now we've got a good carbon colour, we just need to get a good finish on it. But we're going to put some logos on first. Yeah, head back to Photoshop. We've got the little bits on the sides to add as well, but that's that shouldn't be too difficult to do. I'm going to cheat and use a stroke to do that. And then we've got, you know, a couple of logos to put on. So first one is we're going for black VRRC logos on the side of the car. So see if this how this fits size-wise first. Okay, size-wise that looks quite nice. I think we'll do let's make it a little larger. Bit more of that. I've got a bit too. Okay, there we go. That's about the right size. And then want to duplicate that. Just send it over to that side. When you're going to make layers that are on an angle, always duplicate them before you put them on an angle. That's just makes life a lot easier for you. And then we're going to try and roughly center it. It's nice. And then kind of somewhere in between like that. Oh, that looks wonderful on the car. Not that you can see it just yet. I'm just going to go over to the other side. Same story. Just line it up. And then check for leave enough space at the bottom. About there. No, I think that was about right. And then we just need to line it up so it looks like it's roughly in the middle. And then see, got ourselves a nice VRRC logo. Then I'm thinking we can put some logos elsewhere on the design. One lovely little technique, well, technique, I say. One little thing to make your life easier when it comes to this is Windows Shift S, draw a box, and then you get a screenshot of that box. It makes life so much easier. And then you can just go back into Photoshop. See, now I've just kind of badly painted around the outside of those, but then you can just do a quick illustration to yourself. So we're going to put a GTF1 logo there. We've kind of got a logo on the back already, and there's that that little antenna thing. So there's not really space for anything on the back part of the boot. And then we're going to have like a rigs logo there, big VRRC logo there. But this just helps to plan things out. Like you can put a logo there. That'll look quite nice. Maybe a little one across there. Definitely something there. But just these little aspects of planning, they don't have to be neat or anything. They just tend to make your design process a lot easier. Like, this looks horrific as a concept. but when it's in practice, it looks a lot nicer. It's just a few little things you can pick up. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to put a logo in above the VRRC sticker there. Might be quite nice to put a driver name, actually, just on the door there. That could work quite well. Then that kind of pans out. We don't want that Livery Molly sticker there, to be honest. So remove the sticker from there. In fact, it would look a lot nicer if we just binned that off and moved it somewhere else. Just sent you my car on Discord. Nice. I'll have a quick look. See it. Ah, yeah. I've got that. Nice. I'll have a look at getting a livery done for you on that one. I promise it'll look better than this with like pink spots all over it. We'll make something that looks properly nice for it. Right, so we've got a bit of a plan now. So I'm going to try and put that into action. So we'll start with the roof. Move all of it into the base template bit for now. With the roof, I think we were just going to go with GTF 1, to be honest. That's definitely one of the better stickers you can just put in a large space. So we're just going to see how that looks. If that's centered, that's spot on. Oh, it's so nice when you get that rare moment when something just goes perfectly right first time, which looks very nice. So that's good. Then we're going to want a rigs logo towards the top of the front. Probably about there. Yep, that looks good. And then we're going to want a bigger VRRC logo towards the front of the bonnet. Probably not that big. Probably something like that. Back it on, hit save, see how we go. Oh no, that's far too large. Might have to be the same sort of size as the rigs logo, because now these just like stand out far too much. Yeah, it's definitely it's a skill and practice thing. But you can see like that VRRC logo is just way too large. So you want to try and, yeah, there we go, that's better. It fits within the little kind of curvature of the bonnet there. Then the rigs one a bit further back, which is nice. Okay, that's not bad. I'm not fully sold on the bonnet just yet, so we might try and... If I move rigs a bit further up, can we fit something else in the middle, I wonder? Like maybe this. Fit that in the middle then. The thing for me is the bonnet is just like really large, and we've got like the stickers are huge. Like the GTF one on the roof looks okay. But if we bring up a, let's have a think. What would be a good real life example? Let's, if I can find it. Is we've got here the Porsche from the whole goodbye to the GTE Pro category. You can see their logos, they don't stand out as being like really large logos. They're actually quite small and reserved. Like they're usually a bit more, because this is kind of more of a paint livery than a sponsor livery, but still. Yeah, we'll see what we can do about this. I think it might just make the logos a bit smaller. And see how we get on with that. Yeah, that just looks a bit less in your face. Yeah, that's a bit nicer. But we still need to make sure the VRRC one is a bit bigger. But that looks a lot nicer. Although I do think we could probably move them all a bit further down the bonnet. There we go. That's looking a lot nicer now. I'm much happier with that. Never. That thing. Fair. Just need to line up now. And then we've got those logos sorted. Okay, so now we're looking a bit better. Don't really need that anymore. Just reduce the stuff on the screen now. Okay, so let's have a look at our plan. We've got the front sorted. We've got the top. I'm referencing that push. Oh, yeah, yeah. To be honest, though, the Porsche wasn't that bad, I don't think. It was just a bit of a tricky one to get used to. I mean, I didn't find it that bad. Like, if you could stay away from the curbs, it was great in race trim. And when the track conditions weren't optimal. Or at least that's what I found in my testing of it. I think it does require like a certain driving style. It's a lot harder to make it work on a consistent basis. It was quite tricky to get into the operating window setup wise, and then it was even harder to keep it operating nicely. It was kind of similar with the Corvette, but it was a bit less extreme. But then it was more extreme in some cases when it went wrong. So it was kind of balanced in that way as well. Alright, let's see if we can put some name tags on the door. What would be a nice font to use? This. Have we got a semi-bold? Yeah, that's nice. Except it's in black. And we'll pop that on the side and see how that looks. Alright, it'll come up on the other side though. No, I think it does need to be in bold actually. Yeah, that's much more visible. And on that side, so when it's down at that small of a size. Right, okay. So now I just need to lining this up nicely. Okay, that's good. And I'm just gonna Do the same on the other side. Now we've got a little bit of text there for the name. Yeah, then we can redo the Livery Molly stickers, which didn't look great just plonked down at the bottom on that side. Have a look at it from this side. Okay, there we go. Also, I hit delete by accident. You know, why would I hit any other random key by accident there? Good. Now we've got the Livery Molly sticker on the side. We're really starting to get through this now. So you can just stick a for that back door, the panel in white. So that's going to have to be more of a black kind of a square style of sticker. And you've already used the best one for that, so I'm assuming Gorilla Mods is the best one for that. We're just gonna see if this goes on nicely. It's a bit more rectangular, but should get the job done nicely. No, we kind of want something a bit more go across. So I don't think that's gonna cut it, unfortunately. Mecha Cup could go across the side nicely, actually. How about that? Oh yes, that's much better, I think. Yeah, it would probably look better on an angle. Like a little larger. And then send that one over the other side. Ah yes, that's good. Liking that. Yeah, we're definitely getting there with it now. Now we've got that one sorted. We're going to need a sticker or back of the car. Now Gorilla Mods is the obvious choice, but the only problem is that there's a seam right here. This is a join in a panel because this panel is not the same as this one. There's two completely separate things, which makes lining things up an absolute nightmare. So we're more likely to want to put a logo down there and the one up there rather than anything else. That's a bit more awkward. So what we'll do instead of putting Gorilla Mods there is we'll put their logo up at the back, up there. I think that'll look a lot nicer. Yeah, that looks nice. Okay. And then we just kind of need another logo to go on the top part of this. So I think Cammus could do the job quite nicely because it's quite long and thin. Let's see if we can fit it in nicely. Fit in nicely on the side. Ah, okay, so it's not just a flat panel, so that ruins that theory. We have to find something that fits in somewhere else. If we can get Aegon in. Don't think they feature on the side, do they? They don't. Good displays though, actually, Aegon. Like completely unrelated to the fact we're sponsored by them. I bought a I just wanted a nice display for my my main monitor. So I was looking at Aegon just because I know that we've done bits with them before at VRRC. But I don't know which one it is. It's a 24-inch 165Hz one. And it is really good. So would recommend. And it cost me like 150 quid. As well, it was like a really good price for what it is. So yeah, 10 out of 10 would recommend. Very good monitors to buy. If we've got any more logos, we can put there. Might have to just put a little rigs logo on the side. Yes, not an ad. Just like genuine experience. Okay, we're getting there. It's definitely looking nice. I think the little outlines on the top are going to just bring it together a bit more. Well, that's the hope anyway. Yeah, just a little line to go across will hopefully just bring it all together. I thought I saw like a little red edge there, but I didn't. Yeah, back doesn't need any more logos. We've got that one sorted. So yeah, it's just like a little rigs logo on this back panel. All I'm really doing is like looking through the logos, pick an appropriate one, and then just go for it and see how it gets on. Which seems to be well in that case. So I'm gonna try and use that. Looking nice, and then yeah, that's looking good. I'm liking that. I'm thinking of changing the bonnet slightly, but I don't know how easy this is going to be. Yes, okay, that's good. So we can cut off this little edge. So I'm hoping this little edge will just make it look a little nicer. Yeah, it just looks a little more aggressive now. I don't know what it is. It just looks a little nicer with the shape like that. I'm liking that. Yeah, I think we'll stick with that. That's good. Been streaming for 2 hours, crikey. Tell me what, it's 11:15. Did not realise that. This is the problem with liveries, you can just get so carried away with doing them. But we're not far off now, we've just got little bits to do. In fact, the outline... that's going to be awkward, but the outline should start on the outside and then go to the in... That's going to be tricky. I think we'll be alright. Pass your better. Yeah, it literally is. Right. Okay. So I'm pretty happy with the logos now. So let's see if we can do this stripe to make it look nice. Yeah, red stripe just to finish it off. The only problem is I can't really have it going on the inside now, I don't think. Okay, I think I've got a good, clever Photoshop trick for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the carbon layer. I'm going to merge it. But I'm going to bring that all the way to the top and I'm going to make it fully pink so it's blindingly obvious to see. And then we're going to cut out just this bit at the front. And then, just to make doubly sure we're alright, gonna yes. And then we're gonna cut out any areas we think might be a problem. And then I'll just cut out this area here. The only little issue with this is we do have to then cut just around the outside. Of each side. Now you're probably a little bit confused by this, and that is completely understandable. But the idea behind this is we're going to use a stroke to figure out the little outlining bits so we don't have to. It's the hype. I know. Honestly, livery making is just like the most confusing thing sometimes. So we're going to change the fill to 0, and then we're going to add a stroke on the inside, which is nice red. What on earth? Well then, guess that isn't going to be an option. What on earth? Okay, never mind. That clearly isn't on the cards. Damn. I thought we were onto a winner with that one, to be honest. If I had an extremely good memory. Yeah, but the problem is you're probably confused by most of the stuff I tried to say anyway. Doesn't matter if you can remember it or not. Alright, let's see if we can do it another way. Need to find a piece of red. Just double check the right color code for it. Yeah. Right, I'm just gonna do it the cheating, well, not quite the cheating way, but the other super easy way. We're just gonna use a bunch of these. How does that look? Does that actually work? In a nice way, it actually does, surprisingly. So this strategy works and is a bit stupid, but nah, we move. And we just shift it out by a pixel. And just add a little layer where all we do is fill in the gaps between them. And any other little bits that need doing. Yeah. If you understood livery making, you'd be good at livery making. Is basically what you're saying. Um, which I can agree with. It's still going, yeah, mate. It's not a quick process. Yeah, it's just not a quick process at all. But it's getting there. We're on like kind of final detail bits now. Yeah, grind never stops. But this is where we're up to now. Like, we're seriously getting there now with finishing off. I'm just taking this line and extending it all the way down the final part of the car. And then I'll just debate if there's anything else I need to add. But yeah, I'm liking how it looks, to be fair. I'm quite happy with it. I mean, we've got good reference for the carbon bit. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how it looks. I've done a fair few of them, to be fair. They all look very different in how they are. Just because each car's different. I tried to make them all a bit different and interesting. So there's the F3. Then there's an F4. Put that. Then there's the VRRC IndyCar. And the F2 as well. And then we did the 2022 one as well. Also, looks like we're getting a new RSS F1 car at some point soon. But yeah, this is how they all look. I don't know how much it's going to lag if I try and do something like this. Ooh, that one has not got good settings on it whatsoever. I think this is the better one. Oh, it's lagging. That's how you know it's working. Oh, that one clearly relies heavily on lights. Oh, it's literally frozen the stream preview. Oh dear. Let's get off that before it fries the graphics card. Oh dear. That's not ideal. Right, there we go. I've unfried the graphics card now. That was not a sensible idea. Well, I thought it was, but in the end it turned out not to be. But yeah, they're all very different to each other. They've all got their unique kind of characteristics as a livery. Like the F4 is one of the few that's it's predominantly different on one side compared to the other. It's the only one that features the little hex pattern on the white, and it's got custom numbers on it. The F3 is kind of similar sort of story, but it's mainly focusing on the blue and the red rather than other colours, and it's got a little Rigs logo here, which is quite different. The IndyCar is centered more around white. It's the only one that features this gradient at the front, but it's also got inverted colours on both sides to make it stand out. The F2 is focused mainly on red, but the white is also quite prominent there. And then the F1 features a fair bit more exposed carbon fibre, as they have been doing in F1, and is kind of featuring a lot more red than most. But I changed the colours of the blue and the red for this, and I think it's looking nice. Like, I'm quite a big fan of the blue that I've changed it to. One thing that is a bit bizarre is that each one of these has this exactly the same red and blue, but they all look different, even though it's exactly the same, except for this one we're doing now. They are all identical. Don't ask me why. They look completely different, colours-wise. I don't even know. But they are somehow also... Yeah, it's a bit weird. That's a gradient tool. I did not want. Right, now we're going to keep on pressing on with the red, which hopefully is going to look okay. Have a quick look, see how it looks. Okay, yeah, that's going to look nice when we fill out the other bits. I'm just going to do one side because I'm fairly sure I'll be able to just copy this and mirror it to the other side, which should hopefully make life fairly easy, like we did for the other bit, and then we just got to put a map on it afterwards. Now I've got the boring job of colouring in all of the gaps between the red shapes. Be nice to see it all come together. Alright, let's have a look, see how that looks. Yeah, that's looking nice. Good tutorial and good job on the BMW. Thanks, have a good evening. Yeah, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. We have been going for 2 hours and 17 minutes. And it is like now most people will be going to sleep, so I appreciate everybody who has tuned in and listened to me waffle through roughly how you make a livery. Yeah, it's been great to have a chat to so many people over the course of the evening. But we're nearly at the finish point, and then of course we do have others. I have started on the BMW, but there are other cars in the pack which do need liveries. So yeah, there will be more installments of this. There will also be a Malta, you turned in at the right moment. Yeah, I'm still going for a bit. So yeah, you guys at Race Anywhere are normally up quite late, to be fair. Joined just in time for a little bit of what's going on. Yeah, basically just me waffling through a bunch of how to do liveries for Assetto Corsa. But we're nearing the end now. We've nearly finished it off. So you joined at a good moment to see the end result without the painfully boring progress. Yeah, now we're just sorting out the shapes for the final bit. There we go. And now we pray that we can just mirror this to the other side. Because then we will be well and truly finished. Until we have to put the equivalent of a spec map on it. Right then, let's see what we can do. Edit, transform, flip, vertical. And then we pray this looks alright. Moment of truth. Oh, it's looking good. Have we done it enough? I think we're like one click off. There we go. Nice. Oh, I turned the wrong layer off. There we go. Oh yes, look at that. That is looking nice. I'm happy with that. That is looking good. Nice. Now we just need to put a map on it and then we are sorted. Right, need somewhere where we can get the light. There we go. Needs a little more. There, now that carbon looks like a nice matte carbon. So that's good. And then we're going to go glossy for the other ones. Like this. Yes, that looks nice. Alrighty. So, and carbon is just that layer. Ah, yeah, then we're just going to add the red, the white, and the blue. And then all the extra shapes. That bit. And then we just got to go through selecting every single one of the logos. And then we go with that. And then we have ourselves a pretty completed livery. Change this around a little bit. We get like proper maximum glossy look. Yeah, that is looking nice now. It's a bit hard to see the difference. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the stream. You can see the little reflections there. But you can see there's not really those kind of reflections. It's just the light that bounces off it on the matte ones for the carbon and the logos, which looks super nice. So there we go. Happy days. That is a good livery, well done, I think. Now I just need to save the skin itself. We've saved the map. Then we can save the PSD. And that concludes the livery. Gosh, Photoshop's having a bit of a mare at the moment. It's like, I don't know what it's doing, but it's running out of memory or something. That's going real slow. But there we have it. That is one completed livery. Now, hopefully I'll be able to update the preview for it as well. Quite shortly. Now, I don't know if this is going to be sensible and load up the window. Don't seem like it wants to. Never mind. We'll have ourselves a quick little preview. Oh, can't update preview. Okay, so it's got itself confused now. I think my PC is like screaming for help or something. We'll get the preview updated. Oh yeah, it's looking wonderful. That is properly nice. Yeah, you might experience some lag on the stream now. Yeah, it takes up a huge amount of graphics processing power to do that. When piano stream. I was wondering how long it would take somebody to comment on that. When I learn something worthwhile that's not like meme songs. Yeah, we need like I need to learn how to play any song just by ear. Then I could do it like go on Omegle or something. That is definitely memeable content that I know a load of YouTube people already do. Karaoke, no, not a chance. Karaoke if we get like Brendan to join, but then he can only sing Backstreet Boys. So, yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But here we have it. Here's the finished article, finished livery, all done in a incredibly quick 2.5 hours. Yeah, that's got to be a world record for a livery, right? It's not like I've done some in 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm happy with it. And then if I have the time, we'll look at replicating this onto other cars, because I purposely wanted to make it quite simple so we could just whack it on other cars. That is very cool. I'm very happy with that. So that's very, very nice. Now, before we head on off, it would be rude not to drive it. And have a quick look at it in game. Now, the only issue is I am only able to drive from a controller from here. Cause my sim is at it's on the other side of the room. So we're going to experience controller driving, which can only go badly if I'm honest. And I'm pretty sure I'm loading into a race as well, so it's going to go worse. But we'll see how we get on. If it wants to load. Wait, oh yeah, of course it resets me to the pits. Because I've got the app extension on. Wait, don't tell me this is quicker. Have I big brained it? I've literally started from the pit lane and nobody is here. Am I now winning? Well, that's a bit of a cheat, if I'm honest. I can just come out the pit, go immediately to the pit lane, come out of the pits, and then I'm winning. Oh, someone's just exposed my livery. I forgot that might be an issue. Oh, technically it's me that has exposed my livery that I might be running. Right then. Now at least we can have a battle. As long as they don't use push to pass. If they do that, then we're in trouble. Oh, we'll see if we can chase him down, but I think it's going to be tricky. I did leave the air on full, I think. Definitely, yeah, and I definitely didn't choose to follow the car as well. Turn. He's going to use push to pass now, surely. I don't even know if we're on the GP layout or not. This could go badly wrong. Let's not look backwards, let's look down. Oh, I'm gonna get swamped. Or at least I thought I would. Push to pass doesn't seem to do that much. Oh, calm it down. Ah, we hooked up the curb so badly there. I don't know, we're going to catch them. The AI aren't particularly good at passing. So unless they just push the pass down the straight, I'm okay to behind. I'm not going to do all 52 laps that we've got. But we'll see if we can catch the leader down. Oh, I set the fastest lap, but it wasn't me doing it. It was not me. Yeah, AI version of me. Oh, here we go. I'm closing in on AI me. It's going surprisingly well for controller driving, which can only mean I'm going to spin at the next corner. Here we go. They've got a lot more confidence in the car than I have, because, you know, controller. But we're a lot quicker through the final chicane here. We should be able to get a good run soon. Oh, we got a brilliant curb hop there. Right, this is what push to pass does at the moment. So he's on the push to pass and I'm not. And I'm hardly losing any time. What the heck? I would like to say that was intentional, but it wasn't. He literally just broke so early. And then I got carried away and then lost the place anyway. You've received 100 messages. Nice. Bam. What a move. You know, just sent it up the inside. Can he make it stick? Spoiler alert, yes I can. Do you know what? Somewhere out there, somebody will have created an AI that synthesizes Crofty's voice, and then uses an AI to generate text for commentary, and then uses that AI to do text-to-speech. So you can get Crofty as a commentator. 100% that's been done somewhere already. That would be a good addition for sim racing. I know I've seen like concepts of it, as I was telling you earlier. Um, but I don't know if that's actually like public usable yet. It'd be fucking hilarious if we had Andy McEwen as an AI option, because it's a bit of a running joke that Andy McEwen commentates everywhere these days. He's an incredibly good commentator, but like he commentates on everything. So it'd be really good to like have an AI so we could have Andy McEwen commentary everywhere. Because like I'll just be tuning into random stuff and I'd be like, hold on, Andy commentates on this as well. Yeah, the whole, oh, I recognise that voice type thing. Yeah, exactly. Okay, we got the sewn up in the bag now. We've definitely made that move stick. We need some like side-by-side screenshots. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh, that'll do for a screenshot. I need to just go a bit further around. And something like this. I forget it takes so long to do the screenshots when you have higher res. But this is looking quite nice, to be fair. Yeah, that is the T1 Ballard that I'd probably obliterated the lap before, to be honest. Oh dear, yeah. Bit of an oh dear, but it's kind of funny, to be fair. How much more have we got? 26 seconds. Okay, so it is going to blur it a fair bit more. It looks quite nice, though. Yeah, that's not too bad. And then we'll get like a nice one for the for the stream thumbnail. Oh. Yeah, something like this. And then go for this. So we get lots of motion blur to most of the ground that we're going past. And then that'll make a nice thumbnail picture to put on the stream replay, which everybody will be able to watch. If you want to go back and watch my my process for all of this, then of course you can. Are we going to get a stream view now? Editing your photo. Oh, I imagine. Yeah, no. At some point, I might do a Lightroom stream of just editing screenshots, but to be honest, I don't know enough just yet. Like, basically all of my knowledge is presets plus exposure, contrast, and then mess about with every slider until something looks okay. Which is not ideal, but hey. Okay, we've blurred this way too much now. But you can see in the foreground, it just looks a bit too overdone. So we'll do it again at 125 and see how we go. This is another another rabbit hole, is taking screenshots with the right settings, as well as then editing them with the right settings as well. I think we're doing a VRRC masterclass on screenshots at some point soon, so we'll get somebody like Eric or Oliver Gibson in to explain how they do their screenshots, because their screenshots are really nice. Kyle's very good at setting the scene. He's very good at getting it to look nice in kind of different settings with all the CSP lights and stuff. You're helping me out there. Yeah, if you do want to get involved with VRRC stuff, obviously the championship is quite full, but you can sign up as reserve or whatever, and we'll try and figure something out. If there's interest, we may branch out to 2 leagues, but that's a big if. Let's see. Oh, it's 8.3 megabytes, so I can't send it through Discord. Damn. It's !VRRC for the command for the VRRC Discord. Yeah, there you go. If you click that link, you can get involved with VRRC for all those bits. So thank you for putting that one in the chat. The main thing we've got going on at the moment is the Track Racing Championship. There are slots still available in that. That takes place on a Wednesday evenings at 7:30. I think qualifying starts at. So if you want to get involved with that, then you're more than welcome to. Just join in the Discord and me and Rich will sort you out with getting involved with that. Next round is at Thruxton on Wednesday, which is in 2 days. Oh, well, maybe tomorrow. We're almost at Tuesday now. So it's on Wednesday. It's semi-broadcast. I'm doing a watch along on the channel, but it's not the same production quality of the full broadcasts, which I do alongside Andy McEwen and Jack Oliphant on the comms. Incredible guys to work with and very good at what they do. So yeah, not quite that level of production. It's more of just like a watch along. If you watch F1 League races, you might see some streamers, like I know Yano usually races in them, but I think for a couple he's done some watch alongs. Josh Idowu was one that springs to mind when doing watch alongs. But those sort of people will do watch alongs. It's that kind of a vibe if you've watched that, watched the watch alongs. But yeah, round 1 was really good. It was definitely rigged because Rich won the second race. You know, couldn't be a reason that he actually drove really well. Couldn't be that. Has to be rigged. No, he drove very well. And a lot of his rivals made mistakes, which he didn't do. And then he had a really good battle with Scott at the end. And then unfortunately, Scott extended the track twice and got 2 time penalties, which meant that Rich got the win. But yeah, it was really exciting. Thruxton looks like it's going to be really tough for the drivers in terms of managing the trucks. Tyre temp wise, the tyres go off like on your lap. They've gone up on the out lap. Yeah, on the standard Assetto Corsa tyre app, if they're in the green, the tyres, that's great. If they're in the orange, you want to take it a little bit easy. You're going to have a tiny bit less grip. And if you're in the red, it's like your tyres are done. and the fronts are in the red on the outlap, even if you drive cautiously. So it's going to be incredibly difficult for them to try and manage those in terms of you want to manage it as best you can so you have the best chance of winning and pulling away. But I don't think that's going to be possible to pull away from other people around here because of the slipstream, which I imagine is going to be huge, because trucks are not small things. They are very big and very draggy, so that'll create a huge hole in the air. So slipstream will be really quite prominent, but the only thing is then people will hit the rev limiter, so the slipstream will work great for the first part of the straight, but then you'll be locked at the same speed for the second part of the straight. So my theory is it'll be kind of like what DRS should do. It will give the person behind a run, but it won't enable them to just breeze past. They'll be right on their bumper or alongside, and they'll be able to make the move into the next corner. So hopefully that's how it's going to pan out. And the tyre wear and temps are going to keep people together. I think it could be really exciting. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we did have a new sign-up as well recently. On top of our round one sign-up people, I think we had a person called Nathan Smith who has joined the VRRC, so that's really nice. I think he had a truck profile picture as well, so he might be from the real trucks, or he might know Stuart Vickers, who's a trucks engineer. He races for Phoenix Sim Sport in our series, so it might be somebody who races the real things or is involved with the real things, which is really cool. So yeah, that's the main thing you've got to look forward to. The time attack has just gone over to the F2 at Bahrain, and to no surprise, Eric is fastest, but only by 2/10 from Oliver Gibson. So, you know, all to play for there. Definitely, you've got 11 days plus 9 hours and 22 minutes. So that's until the end of next week. I would imagine that goes till next Friday then, is when that will end, and then we'll go over to the RSS Formula Hybrid 2022, probably just in time for the 2023 version to come out. I know RSS have teased that. So yeah, that is all that you can get involved with at VRRC. I hope you've enjoyed this rather long, nearly 3-hour stream of doing some liveries and just general chit chat. I've given away a lot of tips to people. If you want to watch the full replay, it'll be on the VRRC Twitch and YouTube and my own Twitch and YouTube channels, so you'll be able to rewatch all of that. And then I hope you'll join me on Wednesday for the second round of the Trucks Championship. So I've been Lewis Edwards. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you all very soon. Bye for now.